So the next lesson, we're going to work with compound shapes. Not only are we going to do compound shapes, but we're going to introduce a design concept. The design concept that we're going to be working with is having an order of importance for the shapes that we're going to use. So what we're going to do is we're going to take three shapes and we're going to compose them into a single complicated volume. Okay, but we're going to have one of the shapes be what we'll just say it's the most important shape. Another one is going to be the second most important shape. And it's a good design exercise. So I'm starting out with a single shape. And now if I add a shape to it that's the exact same size, it would be hard to figure out which one is the most important shape. On the other hand, if I add a shape to it that's a lot different, that's a different size, and perhaps smaller or just different. And the idea with this exercise is to play with it. It's not to, even for me, like I wouldn't want to make an assertion about how this works. What I'd want to do is I'd want to experiment and see if I could learn how it works. So right now, notice the way that I'm cutting this shape into the other one. I could pass a little invisible line through there. See how those shapes cut through each other? And the last video, we dealt with shading, and you could take anything. You could take India ink or anything, and on the shadow side, darken in just a little bit. And what happens is that really clarifies our drawing for us. Our intentions start to become understood. And so now I'm going to take another shape and I'm going to pierce this right here, we might say is cradling. That could be a cradling shape. And now I'm going to take another shape and I'm going to pierce, and I'm going to pierce right here. Okay. And for right now, I'm just going to put a form shadow on this. And now we might say that this is the dominant shape, this might be the second, and this might be the third. Although someone might argue that this is the most important shape, even though it's the smallest. And in fact, what I'm going to do, I want to do another one. And in this one, I want to make a real effort to play with the smaller shape and see if I can't get the smallest shape to feel like the most important shape. primary shape. Let's see. What am I going to do with this as a secondary shape? I'm going to launch my secondary shape up from here. Oops. Secondary shape. And I wonder if I took a shape right through here. And if we wanted to, we could cast shadows. We could just assign an arbitrary triangle and say this is the direction of the shadows I want to cast. So the ground plane lines could go that way. The top angle this way. And what you do when you run into a situation like this is you take this down to the ground like that, and then you continue the direction of the line. And this would be the other one to there. And this one we can take it down to the ground, and from the ground run it over to there. Kind of an interesting shape, right? Looks like we're setting up for a game of Hangman or something like that. 3D Hangman game. Yeah, I'd say not one to save. This one I think is a better shape. I'm kind of tempted to add something out here. But it's kind of funny when you have a compound shape when you can look and you can say, well, this one is less attractive than that one. And then it makes you want to discover why. And I think that's what makes us, that's, I think, the kinds of questions that make us interesting designers.